Hi, teacher. Good morning.
Hello, Grace. Nice to have you here, Grace.
Sorry?
Nice to have you here.
Thank you, teacher.
So, Grace, tell me, how was your school week?
My school week, fine.
Fine.
Yes, but I have a big problem.
Yes, a big problem, yes.
Yes, with my computer.
Oh, really? What happened to it?
Yes, teacher. Mm, I don't know why,
Yes.
but my computer is in blue screen.
Ah, yes. The the blue screen is it shows a message and a sad face.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, I know. It's a Windows, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And when did that happen? When
Mm,
did it happen?
in Wednesday?
Last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday. Yes,
Okay.
teacher.
And have you tried to turn it off and then turn it on again?
Yes, teacher. But no,
No, nothing.
nothing.
Bad Grisa.
Yes, teacher. And
Okay.
I tried with the options
Yes.
to turn off and continue with Windows or or return the system, but no,
Nothing.
nothing.
It's strange. How old is the computer?
Is I bought a computer on uh, uh, 17 in 2017.
2017. It's not old.
No, teacher, and actually I
4 years, no?
didn't. Mm, yes, teacher, and I didn't use the computer. Well, I bought a computer and
Yes.
I use well only for checking my social media.
Okay.
And well, when I started my major,
Yes.
I used the computer once two or two times a week.
Yes.
And when the pandemic started,
Obviously.
I obviously I used the computer every day.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Yes.
What brand is it?
Sorry,
What brand is it?
is an Asus?
Asus. It's a good brand.
Yes, teacher.
That is strange, Chris. So, okay, so obviously the guarantee has expired, right?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Chris, and have you called the technician? Or do you know any good technician?
Yes, I well, my uncle is well, I don't know what is it, what is he,
Okay.
but he knows about computers.
Okay. Okay. So he knows
Um,
how to fix computers.
yes, teacher.
All right. And
Um,
what did he say?
well, he told me uh that there is two options. One is only the system,
Okay.
or is the uh how do you say disco duro?
The hard disk.
The hard disk.
Yes. I think this, in my opinion, I also had a computer. This computer was very old, and it showed the same problem. But I think it's the hard disk.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So
Uh,
I and what option or what way is going to take?
Well, my uncle told me that if it's only the system, is easy. Only uh re I how do you say I and well no I don't remember but only
Restart,
restart
reformat.
no I think reformat the system.
Okay,
And if it's the hard disk, is change this.
okay. Ah, so
Uh,
so if it is the hard disk, he's going to change the hard disk.
yes, teacher.
Ah, okay,
And and he and he gives me two options
okay.
of hard disk. He he told me that are
Two types.
two type. Yes, teacher. I don't
Okay.
remember the name.
Yes, well, one is the traditional or the usual or the normal hard disk, and the new one, the new version is called like this, like solid state,
Yes, the solid.
solid state drive. One is hard disk drive, for example, hard disk drive, and the newest and the most recent is a solid state. They say, Chris, they say that the best one is obviously the solid state drive.
Yes, teacher.
They say that it's more secure, more stable than hard disk drive. But for example, yes, I also bought a computer a year ago, and the specifications is that this computer has a solid state drive. And yes, so far it has worked so well. So okay, Chris, so when is he going to finish working on your computer?
Mm, I don't know because he needs to buy the disc
Ah,
and
okay.
change the disc.
Yeah. Ah, okay. That's what. So there is a right now for school. Where are you working on for your school activities, homework, all that?
Well, I was finished my activities of this week.
All right.
Well, I only had one, but I finished this in on my cell phone.
Ah, okay.
But I have another activity,
Yes.
and it is in Photoshop.
Photoshop.
Yes, teacher.
For that, you need your computer, right?
Yes, teacher. But well, fortunately, I have an old computer.
Okay.
It's worked.
Okay. So does it work?
Oof, I don't know.
Grace, that's a
Probably I I will make how do you say trampa?
I will make I will make a trick. I will make a
Uh,
trick.
I will make a trick
Okay.
and ask for the work to another classmate.
To ask for another classmate's work. So
Yes, teacher.
it means that you are using a friend's work.
Not exactly.
Great.
only
Uh-huh.
only that he finished my work.
Okay. Ah, okay. Yeah, I
Yes,
see.
because last week I sent the advance
Yes.
and I only need to finish it and it is in the platform. Fortunately, it's in the platform and
Ah,
I could download the advance.
okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Pues sobre that's a big trouble, okay? So,
Yes, teacher. Unfortunately, well, uh, this day I was working with a project,
yes.
an audio project.
An audio project, really?
Yes. Unfortunately, I was finished the audio and I was sent the audio.
Okay, okay, okay. And where do you record the audio? On Audacity, on I don't know, on your cell phone.
I record the audio on my cell phone
All right,
and I edit in Audacity.
very good. Okay, 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 okay. Good, Chris. Come on, Chris, that's terrible. That's terrible. And especially now that everybody needs a computer, everybody needs a laptop. No?
Yes, teacher.
Come on, Chris.
I felt already sad.
Obviously, yes, because it's a product. It's a good that you need. Come on,
Yes,
Chris.
teacher.
And the computer is not all, is just 4 years is good.
Yes, teacher. It was the strange. And well, I think it was because last week I was working a lot.
Okay,
Actually, I was all day on my
computer.
well in front of my computer. Yes,
Okay, exactly. So you were like working.
yes, teacher. And actually, I saw that some programs didn't work.
Uh, so you open the programs and they didn't work.
Yes, teacher.
Mm,
And before the computer stopped,
yes,
um, the screen was already slow.
slow.
Yes,
It was frozen.
no frozen, but the the mouse,
Yes,
the mouse in the screen was slow.
was slow. Okay, I see. Okay. Chris, do you know? Do you remember how much RAM does the computer have?
Uh, 8 gigas.
8 gigas. RAM is good.
Yes, yes,
So it should work with no problems. I mean, I will
no,
obviously for the kind of program to use, obviously you are not a designer. I mean, you are not a web designer or an internet designer.
no, but it was a good computer and have the graphic card.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. So yes, it's a strange list because it's a from the characteristics, I can say it's a good computer. It's not old, obviously, not old. So it should be working nice. And obviously
Yes,
the types of programs that you use are, I mean, for students. I mean, they are not like maybe, I don't know, heavy programs, I don't know. No.
no, teacher. And actually, I have the portable programs from Photoshop and Illustrator because
Ah,
because pay license is is expensive.
yes, obviously, yes, 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 of course. Come on, Grace, that's about okay. So Grace, I cross fingers, Grace, I cross fingers that your computer can be well soon, Grace, okay?
Thank you,
Because
teacher.
especially this is a tool that everybody needs. I mean, right now you are what in the middle of your trimester or finishing your trimester.
I am finishing.
Imagine you're
I
finishing the
I
trimester.
have only uh, 2 or 3 weeks.
All right.
Well, 2 weeks or one and a half week to finish it, the works, the projects, and last weeks are for exams and evaluations.
Imagine. So obviously all of that is online, right?
Yes,
Yes, I know. No, Chris, no. And no, yes, I hope your uncle can finish working on the computer very soon, and you get the computer back shortly. I mean,
Yes,
right now, everybody needs a computer.
yes,
Okay.
teacher. And I don't know why, but I think it is something strange with the computers because last week,
Yes.
uh, mm, my friend told me that he couldn't be in the class because his computer well was has problem with the how do you say batería,
Yes. Very similar with battery.
with the battery.
Right.
And actually, Thursday,
Yes.
my friend Danny told me the same.
Come on. So.
We have bad look.
But I mean, maybe because of the battery, maybe it's a more common problem. Okay.
Yes,
No, but
and
having
probably they have an old computer.
exactly, maybe it is exactly that is another issue. If the computer is older than I don't know, older than I think 10 years, they start to have problems. Obviously,
Yes,
obviously there is a way to avoid problems. And from time to time, you need to give the computer some maintenance. So although the computer is new, so any computer needs maintenance.
yes,
So I don't know, yes, so maybe that is the problem. Maybe they have all computers, and obviously with the battery, that is a common failure. That's too bad, Grace. Okay, that's too bad. Okay, Grace. So Grace, and tell me, Grace, um, how I remember that you were going to the cinema, right, with your friend, right?
no,
No, or
no,
it was last week.
no,
You you haven't gone to the cinema, Grace? I remember you
no,
telling me.
teacher,
I remember you telling me about your special friend that you had planned to go out.
no,
Okay.
no, teacher.
Okay, or okay. So let me rephrase the question. Okay, so you said, did you talk to your friend, your special friend?
Yes, but he has told me, well, asked me if we could going to the Friki Plaza.
Exactly. There to the Fiki Plaza. Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Yes, but no, and I think it will be a little impossible for the orange traffic light.
Yes. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Right now, Mexico City and the state of Mexico, it's in orange, right?
Yes, teacher.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. That's too bad. Yes. I guess speaking of that, what has your school told you
Mm,
about returning to classes, or it hasn't mentioned anything about returning to classes?
nothing, teacher. Actually, the last thing was that well, my coordinator told uh, tell us that we will return it. Well, one day we need to go to the school, and people who was in the house needs to be uh, in the Zoom classes.
In the some classes?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, at Zoom classes, Zoom
At
classes.
Zoom classes. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
It will be I I don't know. I can say that it's like a live program.
Online program. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
um, and it is because um, in the some classes there are uh, there are not all the students,
Okay.
and it is well, it was the plan, but but I don't know what will happen.
I understand. Okay. So not all the students connect to Zoom classes.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. And why not? They don't have a computer. They don't have internet. I don't know.
Mm, sometimes it's because the classes are in the morning, are at 7:30.
Okay. Very early.
Yes, but another classes are before 10,
Okay. Okay.
and they haven't uh, how do you say un comprobante?
They don't have a proof or they don't have a approval. Look at this. Let me write on the chat. They don't have an approval, comprobante, una evidencia.
They don't have the approval about they are working.
Okay. Okay. I see. Cavangris, okay. But yes, something that is real is that exactly Mexico City and the states of Mexico right now are in orange. So and they say that it's really the number of infection is growing really fast.
Yes, teacher, but now the increases are in young people.
It's and in children it is.
Yes, teacher,
That
in
is
children too.
that is horrible. Yesterday I was watching an interview to a young girl. This girl was no, this girl is 22. No, she is very young. She is 16 years old, 17 years old, something like that. She said that she was in a hospital in the children's section because she is considered a child because of her age. And she said that she saw many children, even babies, going into the hospital with their parents because the children had COVID.
Yes, teacher.
Come on, Grace, that is shocking, okay?
Yes, last week, no, last year was for the old people, but
Yes,
now it's for the young people.
yes, exactly. It's true. Come on, Grace, I don't know, but I hope this can finish soon. Some scientists say that COVID will be around forever. Some scientists say that COVID will be over as soon as all the population gets the proper vaccination. So I don't know. All of this is kind of strange, okay, and shocking, right?
Yes, teacher.
No?
Uh, Actually, well, I don't know if it is true or not, but I was so um um I can say that it was a kind of notice
Yes.
that say what was about the Antarctic ice,
Okay.
and it say that in the ice are different kind of things.
Okay.
Well, in the article, was an article, and say about animals that was in ice, and in a part, they say that in the Antarctic ice
Yes.
um, are bacteria,
Okay.
and they will be. How do you say dañinas?
Yeah, es harmful, es harmful, dañinas, peligrosas, riesgoso.
Harmful for the humanity.
It makes sense. In my opinion, that theory makes sense. Why? Because I have also seen some research about that, about the ice in Antarctic, and they say that for many years, they have found kind of bacterium, kind of bacteria or viruses that were frozen in the ice. So they say that maybe humanity is not ready, is not prepared to face or to struggle, no está preparada para pelear, to struggle versus those viruses or bacteria.
Yes, teacher. Probably, I don't know. I think
Yes.
it will be the cause of this virus. What?
Yes.
Because ay, how do you say calentamiento global?
Yes, because here, global
The
warming.
Yes, because the global warming are are present in all the planet,
Yes.
and the Antarctic are um mm, uh how do you say desgelando?
Ah, un
Oh,
freezing,
unfreezing.
yes.
Are unfreezing. Probably. I don't know. Scientifics are detected different kind of virus in the ice. But imagine, uh, they have the virus controlled,
Yes.
but probably they only did the discover.
Yes.
But if the frozen are present and are and is very fast,
Yes.
obviously they couldn't do nothing.
They
It's
couldn't
a
do they couldn't do anything. They
they
couldn't do.
couldn't do anything.
So, come on, that is freaky, okay, no, that is freaky, que espanta, ¿no? Que da miedo. Es que, because imagine eso que soy. So far, for example, I also saw a doctor on internet, on YouTube, and he explains that vaccines are not to avoid infection. They were designed to reduce the risks of dying. And he has said that he has seen that people around the world, people who have the vaccine, go out with no mouth mask, go out like a normal, as if nothing is happening around. And he says that it's a mistake. Even he says that even you have the vaccine, you need to wear your mouth mask and you need to be isolated at home, because he said otherwise the virus will continue mutating. And it's true. For example, right now there is a new mutation, right? Like Delta.
Yes, teacher.
No, yes, it is. I don't know. That is so strange that
Yes,
sometimes
teacher.
sometimes I think that humanity needs to be responsible. Okay.
Yes. Sometimes people are afraid the animals that will be in the ice, but it's impossible that they are alive because first they have mm, uh, many years in the ice.
Yes, but many, no?
Many years,
Yes.
and obviously they are dead. Probably they are conserved in ice, but obviously they couldn't return to life.
Exactly, exactly. So, well, that reminds me, Chris, and Jimmy, that reminds me of a movie. Maybe you saw it in movies. It's an old movie. I don't know how old it is, but the movie is called. Obviously, it's a Hollywood movie. Okay, so it's full of fiction. It's full of sci-fi. Look, it's called Life. Have you seen it, Chris? The movie called
Mm,
Life.
no, teacher, I think I know.
No, it's just a Hollywood movie. Let me show you the image. Look for the movie. Look, wait. Look, it's here. Maybe if you see the image, you can remember. Look at this. This one. Look. This one, Chris and Jime. Have you seen it? Life.
No, teacher.
Vida inteligente, no? Well, you should watch this and Jime. Okay. This movie is about a group of scientists, American scientists, who travel to the space. And the purpose or the objective was to capture um, some bacteria or something like that. So this bacteria was like as obviously was dead, supposedly dead for many years because it was traveling around the space for centuries and centuries. And then they got this bacteria and they gave some kind of stimulus to reanimate, to try to reanimate the bacteria. Kind of, they gave it a protein, they gave it, I don't know, electrical shocks, and they revived the bacteria. After some time, the bacteria revived, it came alive again, and they continue feeding the bacteria with protein, vitamins, and many scientific terms. And at the end, this bacteria developed into an alien, and supposedly the alien kills all the scientists in the space station. So maybe he's, I don't know, thinking about this theory. Okay, so maybe scientists found something, as you said, in the ice, and they revive it. I don't know. There are many theories about that. Okay,
Yes, teacher.
yes. So I don't know.
Yeah, but fortunately, well, yesterday, I think, yes, yesterday,
Yes,
uh, the 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 Mexico City government
yes.
announced that the vaccination for young people started soon. I don't know if if next week or when,
It's true.
but they will started with the vaccination.
It's true. It is exactly. It's true. It is exactly. Yes. So Gris, you had a chance to get the vaccine. Go, Gris. Okay.
Yes,
Go.
teacher. But I don't know what will happen because um at the first days of June
Yes.
was the vaccinated for um, 15 years old people,
Very good.
and started July was the vaccination for 14 years old people, but
Okay.
the 15 years old people don't have the second vaccine
Exactly.
in my town. In my town.
Neither does here. Okay. Neither does here. Okay. That's what this doctor explained. The doctor explained that people need to have both vaccines, two vaccines. Why? Because he explained that if people don't get two vaccines, if people get just one vaccine, he says that the viruses could become stronger than the vaccine.
Yes, teacher. I don't know. Well, I know that the second dose is a month later than the first.
Exactly. exactly.
but I don't know. It is for a specific brand.
Yes. Basically, it is most brands need two vaccinations. There is one that is called Cancino. Cancino supposedly only needs one vaccine, but AstraZeneca, Johnson and Johnson, and any other, they need two vaccines.
Yes, teacher. And I remember um that the Mexico president
Yes,
has told that uh, I think when he was vaccinated with the second doses,
yes.
that the vaccine that he received needs more time to be applied.
Okay. Yes,
Yes, but I don't know what was his vaccine.
exactly, exactly. Neither do I, guess, but I don't know. Here in Mexico, for sure, you can find AstraZeneca, you can find Cancino, and I don't know if you can find Johnson and Johnson.
Mm, I don't know, teacher.
Mm.
I do you know what's the name of the Chinese vaccine?
Cancino,
Cantina? Oh,
huh? Cancino. And there is one called Moderna, something like that.
yes, teacher. Because I remember that my uh well, I don't know. My uncle have a partner and received the
Yes.
Chinese vaccine. Yes,
Okay.
actually, my uncle was joking about this. Yes, nothing, nothing wants this person.
Okay. 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 Yes. Yes, and tell me this: how are your parents?
They are fine.
Very good. Yes. Good. Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Have they gotten the vaccines? Yes. No.
Yes, teacher.
Very good. One or two of them.
Um, they only have received the first doses.
The few doses, like me. Exactly. When was it? Last month? No.
Was at the beginning of this.
This month.
Yes, teacher.
Very good. Okay. Good. Very good. This very good. Please, and tell me this: how are your pets?
They are fine.
Yes.
Yes, but my rabbit is a little strange. They well, sometimes the rabbit eating the the cat food.
Really?
Yes,
Nice. Okay. Okay.
and he attacked my cat.
The rabbit?
Yes, teacher.
That's so funny. Okay.
It's a rude rabbit.
Come on, it is. Maybe it is. You should open a YouTube channel for the relation between your rabbit and your cat. Okay. For sure, they will have many fans. Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Come on, it's okay. Okay, very good. What about my dear friend Hime? Hime, good morning, Hime. How are you, Hime?
Hello, I'm
How are you, Hime?
fine.
Fine? Great,
Yes.
Hime. Hime, tell me, Hime, how was your week, Hime?
Fine. I give places. I stay here home. What I do more? We decided to put some. Well, my mom buy. It's like a plastic by the ceiling, but it's like a pastry, no? Or how to say it? Ya es como una pasta, ¿no?
Ah,
That is made of plastic to try
okay.
to, how to say it? To try to, 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 to cover not all the all the cracks no in the
Ah,
ceiling that we have.
okay. So, Jime, do you have leaks?
Yes, I have
Ah,
leaks.
okay, okay. Yes, you told me this, Jime, you told me last week, no?
Mm-hmm.
I remember. Okay, okay. Okay, so you model about like a plastic, mira, una pasta, mira, plastic dough, plastic dough.
Yes,
No. Okay,
plastic
to cover
dough.
the cracks. And did it work?
Yeah. Well, I don't know because didn't raining a lot. Rain a little, but I thought that yes. But
Okay,
we don't know. We are not sure if we need to put more in some parts, no, or specific points during the sailing.
okay,
And well, we take much time because we put in all the holes, no, in all the cracks that we look
okay,
in all the sailing, and we are going to finish put adding uh, uh, other impermeability something
Yeah, okay, 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 okay.
with their proofing.
Wait, on the roof, no?
Yes, on the roof.
Okay, 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 okay.
But we are going to. Well, my mom buy this that it's made. Well, it looks like a paint, no, or for the ceilings, no.
Yes.
So we are going to have this to cover no, all the cement, all the dough that we put.
Okay, 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 Jimmy, good. So, Jimmy, yes, water leaks, Jimmy, are a big trouble, okay?
Yes.
Yes, especially when it rains a lot. Wow,
Mm,
there is no way to stop water leaks.
yes, it's really terrible because in the other house, in the other room that we
Yes,
have a lot of troubles because you can look in all the how to say it. I don't know if it's contour,
yes,
the liquids,
water leaks.
water leaks. Yes,
Okay.
water leaks.
Come on, Jimmy, so I hope it works, okay? Because,
Yes, I have to.
okay. Jimmy, and tell me, Jimmy, how are your classes?
I start with my class with my student. I
Yes,
start that she tried to write more, so I put a lot of exercise. Principally the homework, no, that she made it text, not short text, writing
okay,
about I don't know, her family, something that her likes, or but I didn't receipt. No, well, no, it's I don't know. It's yes, it's receipt. No, if we are talking about food, no,
yes, good.
and well, now she write more. She have some mistakes, but I thought that more is when she write, it's a little more clearly than the last
Okay.
sentences.
Okay, good, Jimmy. So, Jimmy, you can say, look, this. You can say an idiom, okay? You can say like this, look, she's making,
Mhm.
look at this, Jimmy. And also this, okay? She's making headways. She's making headways. She's making headways.
She's
And
making headways.
that is an idiom, okay? Making headways, the base form or the simple form is make headways. That's in Spanish, progresar. She's making headways. Ella está progresando, okay?
Ah, yes.
Or maybe in the past, made headways. Made headways. Progresó.
Ah,
Mhm.
okay, yes.
So he
It's
mentioned
make
making headway. Good, good, Jimmy. Good. Jimmy,
yes,
and yes,
and My dad uh, gave me money to took one of the stray dogs. No, her name is Sol, to
Sol, okay.
veterinaria to get uh, to get
Ah,
sterilized,
sí, es to be sterilized.
sterilized,
To be
sterilized,
to be sterilized. Okay.
sterilized.
Ah,
And
okay.
yesterday I took her to the veterinarian again, and the veterinarian said she is really well. Her scratch,
Yes.
I don't know, it's correct scratch for a cicatriz,
Ah, hair.
so it's scar.
Exactly. Exactly. Scarf. Huh?
So her
Scarf.
scar,
Yes.
her scar, it's really well. No, she's um, getting much better.
Yes.
So we can wait to she how to say throw her I don't know if it's points for
Ah,
talking
puntadas,
about
¿no?
the
Puntadas.
um, aha,
Stitches.
stitches
Stitches.
for her stitches um throw by itself, no?
Exactly. Ah, okay, okay, okay.
So
Ah, okay.
he said that probably she didn't need to cut no all the streak give me a second, streak stitches,
Stitches, okay.
because I remember that when Cami was sterilized,
Yes.
she stayed in home all week, no, during 1 week by home
At
in
com.
her bed, no,
Ah,
at home
yes.
in her bed. No,
Okay.
yes, she was in bed all the week. No, she was lying in bed all the week. And this dog, no, she only stay, I don't know, a half the first day, and the other days want to stay outdoor. No, but she didn't run before the fourth day
Yes.
that she started running, and obviously it was trouble because we have the scare of yes the scare that she uh, how to say it I don't know, it's like boards or break, not hair, yes, I'm going to say break
Uh-huh.
for her stitches,
Ah, yes. Tear. Tear hair stitches.
yes.
Tear hair stitches. Okay. Okay, okay. I understand. Okay. Jime, so obviously Camille is a gear. What about the stray dog? Is it a boy or a girl?
She's a girl.
A
She's
girl.
a girl too. Yes. So she stay here in my home by
Yes.
1 week. and we was really how to say it, desperate or how to say it?
Desperate, uh-huh.
Uh, we are very like angry or desperate or how to say it? I really don't remember other, but it's like angry that she didn't listen us, no, she didn't do the things, or she throw trash, no, scratch the furniture or something like that, so it was a really trouble by us. So when I one day after to her um to her date,
Yes.
no, to her appointment in veterinarian, my mom said, I don't want that the dog stay here more. And she opened the door and the dog runs outdoor. It said, Mom, it's only 1 night. No, I didn't say you 1 week more, only 1 night more. And my mom said, no, I don't want to stay here. But she said, okay, only 1 night and that's all. I don't want this dog more here because uh, what's the little trouble? She always was scratching the door. No, we can dream.
Yes.
No,
At night, Jime?
yes, at night. because she wants to go out with her puppies. I thought that are her puppies. I'm not sure about that because
Ah,
her mom have puppies at the same time. So I don't know if these puppies are of her mom, but she take the role for the mom. So um, what's trouble now by us and at the final, when I took her to veterinary and say, "Oh, we are free, go go," I don't want to hear more.
come on, Jime. Jime, poor dog, Jime, okay.
But
So,
she's
Jime.
really happy. She's really happy in the street. She don't want to stay here in home.
Yes, no, well, obviously not because I really all of her life was on the street, okay, so that's why, okay. Come on, Jime. Okay, Jime, very good. So, Jime, and how is your how are your parents, Jime?
They are fine. They are
Yes.
fine. My mom, it's fine. My dad, yes, it too. Well, my mom is a little desperate because she's in a little vacation now, so she wake up really early. And how I said it, my mom in the morning said, "Ah, we are going to put this in the ceiling, and we are going to make this in the house." And yesterday she was beating in the other door, in the other room. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's a woman that she is always doing something. She can stay sit.
She cannot be quiet. She can't be quiet.
Yes.
Come on, Jime, yes. Come on, Jime, good, Jime, good. Good, Jime. Tell me, Jime, are you ready for the vaccine, Jime?
No yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But when the time comes, will you take the vaccine?
Yes, obviously I'm going to take the vaccine because that's very important.
Very good, Jime. Good, Jime. Jime, what's your opinion, Jime, of the new signals in Mexico City and Central Mexico? That the traffic light right now is in orange again.
Yes, I
What's your
know.
opinion, Jime?
But it's a really trouble with that, no, because we are waiting that all the things get really better, no? Or well, how do you say it? That this a change, no? Back some activities that we do after, before, yes, after to the pandemic. But obviously, the trouble was that because the people when get vaccine didn't take the the correct well, yes, didn't take the correct I forget it in Spanish. It's like
The correct behavior?
yes, the correct behavior. The correct
Okay.
behavior. No,
Yes.
they didn't use the I don't know the mouth mask, no, or something like that. Is and it's obvious that they I don't know reinfected
Yes.
the by the by the virus. No, and well, I don't know what I don't know what to say about that because obviously I'm not really salty of that. No, but I thought that it's something that happens probably in the future because obviously here in Mexico we have troubles with education about that. Now the people say I can read with this or I can I don't know I can I can move my mouth or something like that. Obviously the Mexican put a lot of in Spanish is pretextos. I don't know how it is in
English is
English.
excuses.
Excuses.
Excuses. For example, you can say, don't give me, you can say, for example, don't give me excuses.
Yes.
Don't give me excuses. No me des pretextos, okay? Don't give me excuses. Don't give me like that, okay?
Yes. So
Don't
the
give me excuses.
Mexican usually it made a lot of excuses.
Yes, it's true. It's true, Jimmy, but I don't know, Jimmy. It's really sad, Jimmy, that right now the infection goes for young people, for children, for even for babies, okay? So I don't know, Jimmy, if the world or I don't know if science is ready to fight back COVID-19 infection. I have seen, as I said, some documentaries about that. And these documentaries say that COVID-19 will be over once once all the planet has two vaccines. But to reach that is difficult.
Yes, I know.
No,
Yeah, no, I know that it's so really difficult now because um obviously the trouble is that all the children, not all the child, I how to say it? Obviously the people say it, are the future, no,
for
for
for all
us,
for all humankind.
for all
Mhm,
human.
yes,
But well, it's a consequence, not that the people didn't understand. Obviously, I look all the time, for example, at this um women, or parents that take their children without masks, and they are more they are have more I forget it defenses, no,
for defense, exactly.
defense. They have
Yes,
more defenses, so they can do whatever thing. No, but in this case, by us, is really much trouble. No, but obviously no. The other trouble is that uh, since I remember, the Mexican when when all the women that had my age, well, not all of them. The how to say it, mayoría. I
most of
hear
them, most of them,
most of them
yes,
uh, get married, no, have children, and some of them have two or three childs, no, and obviously they didn't know how to take
yes,
care of them because for example here in my neighborhood uh, uh um 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, but I thought that all the girls here in my neighborhood
yes.
that are more younger that
Who who are
me
who are
who are
younger than
who
me?
are younger than me but are more older that 20, no, 15, 11, 13, 14, 14 more or less,
Good.
not that are older that 14 and more younger that 20, 20, I don't know, 25,
Yes,
and they have babies or children, and they didn't spend enough time with them because obviously when I hear my neighborhood and my closer, the childs are always making troubles here in front of my house, no. For example, I remember that the other day, one of them kicked at Camila, and obviously I went out and I
wow,
said, if you do that again, obviously I'm not going to make the just I didn't going to take the responsibility if she bites him. No, and I
obviously,
say here, and I say him, it's important that you didn't do. And he said, but she is barking, and I say, but it's my problem, not your problem. I'm the owner of this dog, and if she is barking and I don't want to start barking, and if I want that she continue barking, it's my problem. And she said, and um I say him that
yes.
please didn't play here in from my house, and if I see him again here, I'm going to see her mom, and obviously I'm going to say the same, that if Cami um get aggressive with with her boy,
Yes,
I'm didn't going to take the responsibilities because he is the first that made aggression at my dog.
obviously, yes,
Yes,
obviously,
and well, Kami, it's really passion. No, it's something that I know. But obviously, in a time, she sometimes get really angry because, for example, if I um touch her something that she don't like, or she is angry now because she's sleeping or something like that,
yes,
sometimes she wants bite. but she didn't wait. She made obviously a lot of advice, and I can look here when she's really angry because she start making sounds like
Grounding.
advising. No, she's grounding. No,
So- yes, yes, Jimmy. It's true, Jimmy. Come on, Jimmy. But yes, Jimmy, it's something that it really, I don't know, Jimmy. I think we'll be here, we will be here for a really, really long time. So the best thing is to take care, to be responsible, and to have the vaccine. Okay,
yes,
because I mean,
yes, I know.
I have met many people who have told me, Miguel, you are crazy. Why did you take the vaccine? You should not have taken the vaccine. They don't believe in the vaccine. Why? Because they say that it's dangerous. They say that it's these theories, these conspiracy theories, no, like they say that it's to control humanity or to reduce humanity. I don't know.
Yes, I know.
Many crazy
It's
theories,
so
no?
crazy theories. But well, if are true, what is the problem for that? I mean, you are an important person now, and we have a lot of person now that are working that have a different style of life, not that have more how do you say the opportunities, no, or reach, no, or something like that. And what is the difference that one person no get control that a lot of persons, no,
Exactly.
or the other, no, that I don't want that spy in my conversation, something like that. Well, it depends. You are a person that have this type of how do you say business, not that I don't know business of drugs or something like that. But
Ah, yes,
no,
exactly.
obviously your life isn't interesting for others. For others, your life is really worrying. No, and obviously, whatever or by yourself have your troubles, have your own all thinkings, and obviously by other isn't important. Only by you, but by other it's really worrying.
Yes, exactly. So, no, okay, but yes, I have seen on the internet many crazy theories. Okay. And there is one theory that it says, no, Miguel, don't take the vaccine. If you take the vaccine, Miguel, you will be sterile forever. The vaccine will make you be sterile forever. So I said that is a very crazy theory. Okay, how can a vaccine make a person be sterile? Okay, so no, okay, and why not? For example, right? I know I have read that, for example, in some countries, like for example France, England, and they have a big trouble because young people like you, like Gris, or like Adriana, young people don't want to have babies. So they want to work, they want to have a very good life, they want to marry or maybe live as a couple, but they don't want to have children. And right now, the population in France and in England, most of the people are getting old. So they say that in a very few years, it will be a big problem because they won't have working force for the country.
Yes, I know, but imagine a difference of a small country, a bigger country. You know, for example, I don't know, in China, a lot of population that have, you know, and they only have. I don't know if it's true or not that they only have the permission, no,
Yes.
to have one child. But they are in the other countries, no. For example, here in Mexico, no, they have two, have three, have five, have six
No,
childs,
here
no
in Mexico,
children. Uh,
it's a mess, no?
yes, and it's the same for I don't know if it's but I think that I'm sure here in all Latin America that we have a more than one child. No,
Yes.
and I don't remember the other country that have the same trouble with that, with the youngers that get get to be a parents really younger.
Yes.
But yes, no, But well, I thought that by me, it's much better that a lot of person didn't take not this chance to be a parent, no, because now we are a lot of people living here in the world. So if our less population, obviously we have more space. We have more space to live in. We have more
Resources,
items,
but more
no
resources, no?
resources, no to live in. And by us, it's much better, no, because you can buy the, I don't know, a vacant lot a little much bigger, not by yourself, that share this vacant lot with, I don't know,
Many
15,
people.
not many people, no?
Come on,
Or
Jimmy.
no. I'm
No,
saying the truth.
but Jimmy, no. Well, maybe that is a good theory, okay? But imagine, Jimmy, imagine. What will happen, Jimmy, in the future when all these working force, people who right now are 20, 30, 40, 50, what will happen when those people, Jimmy, become or get to be 60 years old, 70 years old? Or it is they will want to stop working, okay? So,
Yeah.
so imagine what will happen as a country with a population where most of the people are old people.
I remember that I look, I don't know if it's true or it only was a gossip, but in Facebook, I remember that I look at advice that said, this country need that men's go at this country to have childrens in this country and they paid you or something like that. And I said, okay, that sounds really strange, but probably it's I don't know, medida es
Measure.
measure,
Like,
yes,
like this.
like a measure
Measure.
to
A measure.
increase the population in this country. But well, yes, I know that the probably you didn't look in a period of short time. Probably in a longer time you are going to look the trouble.
Yes.
But well, um, probably now the population decrease now. But how I say it, not all have the same thinking, and probably in this country the population is little less, but obviously they are going to have some, I don't know, the difference of, I don't know, 100, not the half are more youngers, no, and
Yes.
this half have the same, no. So obviously, I think that in the future, probably when they look this trouble, they are going to invite the more youngers have two, not two children, something like that. No, because when these people that is more older get
Yes.
die, no, or pass away,
Yes.
the country take this, I don't know, vacant lots, no, these houses that didn't have owner now, and invite the younger people that they have in that time to have to have the responsibility, I don't know, to take two or three, but invite them, no doing this by the force, no, invite them, and obviously wise didn't say, okay, if the country give me this house and this house is really big, so I only can uh, spend my time, with grow up my children, no. I
Yes.
mean, obviously if you have this opportunity, you say, okay, I want to have children and I'm going to do that.
Yes. Yes. It's true. It's true. It's true. Jimmy, yes, but yes, Jimmy. So I don't know. It's your theory sounds like interesting. Okay, interesting theory, Jimmy. But yes, that is a major problem that is happening right now, Jimmy. Yes. Very good. Okay. Okay, my friend. Very good. Okay. So let's begin. Okay. This time, okay, this time I prepared this for you. Okay. Last class we were checking some grammar. Okay. And this grammar has to do with a topic like this called causative have and causative get. Okay. So here, it's here. Okay. This is have and get something done, okay? This structure is it has a translation in Spanish, but the translation is not really close. For example, you say house, casa, door, puerta. Here the translation of, for example, a sentence, no? For example, I feel sick, okay? Or I am happy, okay? Estoy feliz, me siento enfermo. The translation for this phrase is not really very close. It's just an interpretation of the meaning, okay? Have or get something done es mandar a hacer algo o pedir que alguien haga algo, especially for things or for objects or for activities that you can do. For example, for speaking of myself, I cannot fix a computer, okay? I can't fix a laptop. I cannot fix a flat screen, okay? I cannot build houses or apartments, okay? In that case, I will use have or get something done, okay? Look at the grammar. If we use the causative form, subject plus have plus object plus past participle. Is that when we don't do something ourselves, but arrange here, look, this is the use again. When we don't do something ourselves, but arrange for someone to do it for us, all tenses are possible. So rule number one, for things you cannot do on your own or yourself. Number two, all tenses. This structure can be used in present, past, future, any of them, okay? Or progressive. Look at this, okay? For example, it says, James had his car cleaned. Okay, it says, she arranged for someone else to do it for her. ¿Qué dice aquí? James mandó a limpiar su carro. Look at the grammar, my friends. So, had is here in past, but it can be present, it can be future, it can be progressive, okay? After have, you have the object, his car, his house, his television, his apartment, okay? Cleaned. And the verb, look at the verb. The verb has to be in the past participle. This is not the simple past, it's the past participle. Yes, it says she arranged for someone else to do it for her. For example, we are having our flat decorated. Okay, and here estamos decorando o pedimos que nuestro departamento sea decorado. Okay, it says we arranged for someone else to decorate our flat for us. Here, look, here is progressive. Okay, we are having or have our flat decorated, for example, next week. Okay, look, for example. Anyway, here, for example, says you can say we are having our flat decorated next week. Okay, y dice ahí, vamos a mandar a decorar nuestro departamento la semana próxima. Look at the grammar, okay? You have the subject, look at this. You have the subject plus have plus object, okay? Plus verb in past participle, okay? Plus complement. Okay, that is the grammar, okay? Look, subject plus have plus object plus verb in past participle plus complement. For example, you can say, for example, she has her haircut. She has her haircut. Okay. Ella look at this. In Spanish, this one is ella se cortó el cabello. Remember, obviously it's something that you cannot do for yourself. Okay. In English, we never say she cut her hair. This is incorrect. Okay. This one she could, sorry. Let me erase. Okay. Look. I go here. She cut her hair. She cut her hair. In English, this one is incorrect. Why? Because it will sound strange. Ella se cortó el cabello. She cut her hair. It means that a person has the ability to cut her hair on her own. Okay. So I think this one is like a really strange sentence. So that's why this one is incorrect. The correct side in English is She has her haircut. Ella se mandó a cortar el cabello. Or progressive, for example, progressive, pues say, we are having our car checked, okay, tomorrow. We are having our car checked tomorrow. Okay. Vamos a mandar a revisar nuestro carro mañana. Remember, look, is subject plus have plus object plus verb in past participle plus complement, okay? Let me continue, okay? Good. It says, we can also use get plus object plus participle, for example. In a similar way, especially in informal English, but we don't usually use get in the present perfect tense. For example, I must get my eye tested. Debo de revisarme los ojos. I must get my eye tested. Or you can also say like this. Another possibility, correct possibility, I must have my eyes tested. I must have my eye tested. Debo de revisarme los ojos, okay? You can use get or you can use have. It's exactly the same, okay? The meaning is the same. Okay. Look at this. We also use get something done for something difficult you managed to finish. For example, I managed to get my webpage set up all by myself. Okay. I managed to get my webpage set up all by myself. This one is that you were able to do something that was difficult and you did it alone. For example, another example, you can say, I got my car fixed by myself. Yes, similar to I was able or I could fix my car by myself. Okay. In this sense, in this especially meaning, for something difficult you managed to finish, we cannot use have. This use is only in this specific use only for get. Okay. Remember, one specific rule or one specific use for get is that you were able to finish or do something that was difficult for you. Okay. Look at the next. Look, we can also use have something done, okay? But not get something done. For example, when something unpleasant happens to us. Look, this is another use. When something unpleasant happens to us, for example, I had my wallet stolen on my way home from school. Look at the meaning. Me robaron la cartera, okay, en mi camino a casa de la escuela. Aquí no quiere decir, mandé a que me robaran mi cartera. No, me robaron mi cartera en mi camino de la casa a la escuela. In this, use is for have something done when something unpleasant happens to us, okay? Okay, look at it, for example. Let me write another example. You can say, I had my nose broken, okay, when I was coming from school. I had my nose broken, okay, when I was coming from school. Que me quebré la nariz cuando regresaba de la escuela. Here, remember, it's not the meaning. Me mandé a quebrar la nariz. No, me quebré la nariz. This use is very specific, my friends. When something unpleasant happens to us, cuando algo no placentero nos ocurre. Okay. And look at the structure. It's also have the object and the verb in past participle. Okay. Look at this, for example. Look, I'm going to open. Look, there is another use, for example. Let me explain the other use here. Let me, yeah, okay. One example. Here. For example, remember the topic today is causative have, okay, and creative get, okay. For example, let's focus. Let's focus on the general use. The general use is for things you cannot do on yourself. For example, okay, you can say I have. Yes, you can say I have my hair cut. Okay, but you can also say, okay, I have my house built. Okay, es mandé a construir mi casa. Okay, remember here the verb is in past participle. Okay, could and built. You can also say, for example, if you want to be more specific, you can say I have my hair cut by my mother. Okay, es me corté el cabello con mi mamá. Okay, or you can say, for example, I had my house built, okay, by a bricklayer. I had my house built by a bricklayer, que es mandé a construir mi casa con un albañil, okay. In this sense, my friends, in this sense, these structures what is the difference? In one, you don't mention who made the action, and in these ones, the second ones, you mention who made the action, okay? In this sense, my friends, these sentences are called, I'm going to write them here, okay? In this sentence, they are called passive. Why passive? Because number one, the verb is in past participle, and number two, you mention who made the action for using the connector by, okay, by my mother, by a bricklayer. There is a way to change from passive to active. For example, I have my haircut. You can say I have. Look at this, okay. I have my mother, okay, cut. I had my mother cut my hair. Okay. Look at this. I have my mother cuts my hair. Okay. Or for example, I have, look at this. I had a bricklayer. Okay. Built my house. Look at this. Let me erase this one. I have my mother cut my hair. This is active, okay? Why active? Because number one, you mentioned who made the action in the middle of the sentence, okay? I have my mother, and look at the verb, it's in the simple form, cut my hair. I had a bricklayer build my house, okay? So you can change from passive to active. You need to change the position of the doer of the action. Here is in the middle, my mother, here in the middle, a bricklayer, and here in the passive is at the end. Number two, the verb is in past participle, and here in the active, the verb is in the simple form. That is for causative have. For causative get, my friends, for example, causative get is happening the same. For example, you can say, I get my haircut. The meaning is the same, okay? Me mandé a cortar el cabello. Like here, I have my haircut. Or you can say, I got my house built, okay? I got my house built. Yes, mandé a construir mi casa. In this sense, in this way of using grammar, the meaning is the same as have, okay? Here is also passive, okay? For example, here is also passive. The same as with have, you can use get to mention the doer of the action. For example, I get my hair cut by my mother. Okay, I get my hair cut by my mother. Or you can say, I got I got my house built, okay, by a bricklayer. Okay. I got my house built by a bricklayer. Les mandé a construir mi casa con un albañil. Notice that in here is exactly the same as have, okay? Look at the use. It's perfectly the same as have in the passive, okay? But in the active you have a major change. For example, in the active, you can say, I get my mother to cut my hair. Look at this, okay? I get my mother to cut my hair. Here in Spanish es, le pido a mi madre que corte mi cabello. Look at the difference, okay? Here we have, you say, I have my mother cut my hair. There is no connector, okay? The verb is in the simple form, okay, with no connector. I had a bricklayer build my house. Also the same here, the verb is in the simple form. But in the active form with get, you need to use to. I get my mother to cut my hair. Or you can say, I had a bricklayer to build my house. I had a bricklayer, okay, to build my house, okay. Es le pedí a un albañil que construyera mi casa. Important, okay. In the active, there is a major change when you use get, okay. Here, you need to use a preposition to cut, to build. Here, we have no preposition, okay. Cut and build. Okay. Also, in the passive, there is no big problem. It is exactly the same, okay? Look at the grammar in the past minutes between have and get, and it's exactly the same, okay? Also, remember, this is very formal, okay? This is a very formal way to speak English. Informal, how do you say, for example, I have my mother cut my hair? In informal English, you can say like this, for example. You can say, I asked my mother to cut my hair. Okay. Es le pido a mi mamá que corte mi cabello. Or you can say, I had my house built. Okay. You can say, I asked a bricklayer. I asked a bricklayer. I asked a bricklayer to build my house. Okay. Es le pedí a un albañil que construyera mi casa. This is a very informal way, okay, to speak, but it's also correct. Okay, grammatically it's correct. I asked my mother to build. I asked, or in any tense, I am asking, I will ask, I have asked, any, okay? What is, as I say, very informal. More formal, okay, English is this one. I have my haircut, or I get my haircut. Okay. Okay, here, so far, Jime and Gris, any questions with using have or using get in the active or in the passive? Something not clear? Jime, Gris?
All is fine, teacher.
Okay. Jime, any questions, Jime?
No, teacher, it's okay.
Okay, as I said at the beginning of explanation, here is it's like an interpretation of the structure. In Spanish, we don't have an accurate translation. For example, as I said before, mother, mama, bricklayer, albañil. Okay, but all these phrases are an interpretation. Okay, so in Spanish we don't have something like this, but we can interpret, okay, and use in Spanish. Okay, very good. Let me stop sharing. Okay. Let's do some activity, okay, to practice, okay. I have also prepared some exercises for you, okay, and let me click on them, okay. Very good. Jime, I have a question for you, Jime. How is your computer?
Well, I talk with my cousin. Yes, with my cousin.
Yes,
Of my that it's part of my mom because
yes.
she know more about this, know about computers and something like that. But well, he told me that it's much better that I use the other computer, not that my own computer, because this it's more older and don't have sense that I put or I add more things, not that buy something or something like that because it's older. So I'm well when I look that my mom and my sister didn't use the computer, I decided to take her and I'm working with the computer. Uh, when I give me classes. No, so but I took well, by me it's really much faster because this take me less time for turn off. No, and when I want to make the meeting, it's more faster because I don't have any trouble that get freeze or something like that. And I say, oh, it's really more than this computer. And this computer didn't it isn't heavy. Isn't heavy.
It's light.
I mean, it's really light, and when I take him, I say, oh, I think that I don't have nothing in my hands.
Come on, Jime, really?
Yes,
Okay, okay. But I mean, so it's working now?
yes,
All
yes.
right.
It's working on and continue working. Yeah, usually I use the other computer, but sometimes I use my own computer when I want to do other things.
Okay,
Or I
okay.
have all my data in the other computer, on the other computer, and I'm trying to overlap all my data in the in Drive. No, in Drive.
Very good. Just a second. That's a good idea, huh? That's a good idea,
Yes,
Jime.
yes. I'm moving. Well, I am trying to organize all this because I have three coins, no three counts,
The
three
accounts?
counts. I have one on Hotmail, one on Gmail, and one in Mega.
Okay.
And I thought that I have one in Dropbox. So I need to organize where I'm going to upload my information. What is by my personal data and what is for the school and what is for the university. No, try to organize this because I have a lot of things.
Okay. Jime, you can also use and also this, you can also use your accounts from the school, from I mean UMAC.
And yes,
There in
I
OneDrive,
upload.
you have a lot of
Okay.
space in OneDrive, right?
Yes, yes, I know.
Very good. Okay, good. Okay, so let's practice. Okay, let's do this activity. Okay, I'll do the first one. Okay, it says I'm going at the new hairdressers. Two possibilities. I'm going to get my hair cut, or I'm going to cut my hair. Super easy. Okay, I'm going to get my hair cut at the new hairdressers. Okay, dice ahí que es voy a cortarme el cabello. Okay, en la nueva salón de belleza. Okay. Good. Okay. Please continue, please, from number 2 to number 6. Again, don't copy all. Just write number 2 and the answer, 3 and the answer, 4 and the answer, and so on, okay?
Finish. The
Very good.
first
Okay, yes. Okay.
is
She needs to.
have her car repaired.
Very good. Okay, she needs to have her car repaired. Very good. Chris, number 3, Chris. I really must.
I really must get somebody fix the central heating.
Almost, yes. Remember, when you use get, you need to use the preposition to.
To
I really must get somebody to fix, okay, the central heating, okay. Okay, Jimen, they ought to.
They ought to have somebody replace the broken window.
Very good. They ought to have somebody replace the broken windows. Very good. Chris, number 5. He
he burged his flat while why, while he was away on holiday.
almost. Bien, ¿qué pasa si ponemos la segunda? He burgled his flat. Burgled, remember, es entrar a un domicilio, ¿sí? Y, pero sin permiso, así como allanar. Ese es allanar, ¿ok? Él allanó su departamento mientras que él estaba de vacaciones. It doesn't make much sense, okay? This is one, okay? He had his flat burgled. Remember, this is another use of have, okay? For things that actions or activities that are bad for you, but you were not responsible, okay? Here, él tuvo su departamento allanado mientras estaba de vacaciones. Okay, so it doesn't mean that the person sent somebody else to burglar his apartment. No, it means that the person was not responsible and was not conscious of the incident. For example, you can say, he had his nose broken when he was from school, when he was coming from school. Okay, él se rompió la nariz mientras venía de la escuela. It doesn't mean that you ask a person, hey, you please break my nose. No, it was an accident. Okay, like here it was an accident. Okay, okay, Jimen, I
had my phone repaired after I dropped it.
very good. Okay, I had my phone repaired after I dropped it. Okay, okay, please let's continue. Okay, let me take this one. Okay, okay, please you continue, please, from number 7. Okay, okay, from number 7 to number 9. Okay, from number 7 to number 9.
Teacher, I have a
Yes.
question. Well, I'm not sure in the number 7, but for example, you have get to the shops. No, and I think I'm not sure that the answer is develop her film because in this case, she can do the shops while she is develop her film. I'm not sure about that.
Good question,
No?
Jimen. Good question. Here the point to be confused is get to the shops. Okay, get to the shops is similar to arrive at the shops. Okay, arrive at the shops. Okay, she didn't have time to arrive at the shops, for example. And here, Jimen, The idea is that she had or she asked somebody else to develop, revelar
Yes.
su rollo, ¿no? Su película. So she asked somebody else to develop her film. So here is, she didn't have time to get to the shops and get her film developed.
Okay.
Why him agrees? Because this one is another use of get. Remember, get has many meanings, okay?
Yes. Like
One,
get sick.
one meaning is actually get sick, get well, okay, get bored, get angry, okay? For example, get hungry. But here, another meaning is arrive at, okay? Okay, we got okay. So let's continue this from number 8 to number 11, okay?
I'm finished.
Very good. Yes. So let's start. Yes, it says, it took ages
It took ages to get somebody to do it.
to get somebody to do it. Good. Jime, I'll
I'll get John to do it when he arrives.
good. Chris, she
Um, she had her purse stolen on the underground last week.
very good. Okay. Okay. Jime, he
Yes, he has had tickets sent to his home address yesterday.
look here, Jime. Here's the key. Look, yesterday.
Had?
Exactly. Exactly. Why had? Because
Yes,
it's
because in the past.
yesterday. Exactly. In the past. Okay. Okay. Let's continue, please, from number 12 to number 16. I will do number 12. Okay. You should, a long time ago. Super easy. You should have it fixed. You should have had it fixed. You should have had it fixed a long time ago. The meaning en español es, tú debiste de haberlo mandado a reparar hace mucho tiempo. Tú debiste de haberlo mandado a reparar hace mucho tiempo. Okay? You should have had it fixed. Look, my friends, look here. Here you have to have together, okay? It's similar, maybe similar to present perfect, okay? But it's not present perfect, okay? Here is currently have with currently with the verb have, okay? You should have had. Tú debiste haberlo mandado a reparar hace mucho tiempo, okay? Okay, please continue, please, from number 13 to number 16, okay?
Ready, teacher.
Good. Jimmy, what about number 13, Jimmy? They couldn't.
They couldn't. They couldn't get anyone to fix their boards pipes.
Pipe, exactly, burst pipe, sus tuberías explotadas, o sea, que sus tuberías abiertas. Good.
Ah, okay.
Chris, they had it.
They have it done by the same person who decorated their old house.
Excellent, good, yes. Jimmy, after winning a fortune.
After winning a fortune, she gets her family to do everything for her.
Exactly, exactly, good. Chris, I
would have the house redecorated if I could afford it.
exactly, if I could afford it. Very good, okay, good. Look at the last one, okay, it says he got a friend, okay, him at the airport. Super easy, look at the key, got. He got a friend to meet him, okay, at the airport. Good. Okay, please, you continue, please, from number 18 to number 20.
English teacher.
Good. Jime, what place number 18, Jime? The teacher,
The teacher had him do all the work again.
exactly, had him do. Very good. Chris, he
He had his bags loaded onto the train by a porter.
good. Okay. Jime, I have,
I had my car serviced a fortnight ago.
very good. Jime, how do you say Jime a fortnight ago in Spanish, Jime? How do you translate
14,
fortnight ago?
4 noches antes.
Almost, Jime.
I
Ajá,
don't know
exactly.
if the cuatro o si no, por de cuatro.
Okay.
It's a
Chris,
it's
yes.
quincena.
Very good. Exactly. Fortnight, quincena. Exactly.
I
So,
get it.
a fortnight ago, hace una quincena, ¿no? Mandé a mi carro de servicio hace una, ¿no? Very good. Chris, I'm going to have,
I, I'm I'm going to have them fix it.
very good. I'm going to have them fixed, okay? Very good, my friends. Excellent. Very good. Okay, good. So I think it's perfect, okay? So listen, let's continue. I also made the presentation for you, okay? And it's about questions, okay? It's called moral questions, okay? Let me click on them. By the way, look, the score, look at this. Congratulations, my lady, okay? Let me share the score. So congratulations, okay? Quiz results consecutive. Congratulations, you got 100% correct. Excellent again. So in my opinion, you are ready to use cognitive hub, okay? So let me share my presentation with you, okay? I will prepare this for you. These questions, my friends, these questions, they have a technical name in English. So this kind of essay, okay, is called, they are called in English, they're called dilemmas, okay? They're called dilemmas. Remember, a dilemma is, it's when you have to decide something about an action, about a person, about an activity, but for that you need to sacrifice something, okay? For example, let's say, please, Jimmy, you please start reading. You have worked years.
You have worked years to be successful in your father's business. You felt you were obligated to take over as he worked in his whole life to build the business left to him by his father. However, the large business in tow have seriously cut into profits, and for several years you and your family have just managed to scrape by.
Scrape by. Look, scrape by es que sobrevivir, okay? So, very good. Okay, Chris, your father's,
Your father's health
health,
health has decided and
has declined, no? Has declined.
sorry, has declined, and
Mhm.
he has been
Hos-
hospitalized.
hospitalized. Hospitalized.
Hospitalized. Um, he has a substantial life insurance
Right.
policy
Policy.
and policy
Good.
that expired at midnight.
Good.
If he dies before midnight, you will
Inherit.
inherit enough money to to
Pursue.
pursue
Mhm.
to pursue a career
Okay.
you have always dreamed and
Off.
dreaming of and provide
Adequately.
adequately for your family.
For
Do
your
you?
family. Do you, okay, look here. Substantial life insurance. Substantial life insurance policy, okay? Policy.
It's
Una,
like how to say it? ¿Seguro? ¿Seguro?
Exactly, all together. Un seguro sustancioso, okay? A substantial life insurance policy, okay? Un seguro de vida sustancioso, okay? But the problem is that it expires at midnight. If he dies before midnight, you will inherit. Heredarás. You will inherit, okay? Obviamente suficiente dinero to pursue a career, okay? Para impulsar, okay, tu carrera. Sí, que la carrera que siempre has soñado y proveer adecuadamente para tu familia. Do you, the question is here, look, do you, let me change, okay. Look, now, the dilemma is this, okay, look, okay. Let me share the screen, okay, okay. Look, do you, question one, pinch the oxygen line, making it possible for your dad to die or smother him with a pillow? Do you tell your dad the problem and let him suggest a solution and go by what he says? Do you do nothing as you cannot imagine living with yourself if you terminate your dad's life? What would you do, Jimmy? Imagine it's a situation, it's a supposed situation, okay? It's not real, but what would you do, Jimmy? You have him in your hands, a powerful company, okay? The company has some problems, okay? Just to scrape by, okay? Some financial problems. But you have this, maybe you have the solution, okay? Your father dies before midnight. What will you do, Jimmy?
I don't know. That sounds like like a drama.
Exactly. That's why they are called
Probably imagine
dilemmas.
in a drama. Probably if I was the Vivian, Viviana.
Yes.
No, I like in the dramas. I pinch the oxygen line, making him. But well,
You either to die or smother him with a pillow, okay, o ahogarlo, ¿no? Smother him, ahogarlo.
yes.
Smother him with a pillow.
Uh, yes, probably the first thing that I usually do is tell no my dad the problem, no, to try it. If he can stick, they well say him the trouble, no, that is happening, no,
Okay.
and he try to suggest me something to try to get a solution of that. No, I thought it's the better option that you have here because the other. No, I don't think so. I don't think I should cannot imagine living with yourself. I don't know. I thought that the most better here. No, the better here is tell your dad the problem.
Exactly, exactly. What about Grace? Why would you do Grace? Remember, Grace, you are in imagine situation. Okay? It's not real. Um, you and your family live richly. Okay, you have a lot of money, but right now the company, the family company has some problems, okay, some financial problems. Why would you do this?
Well, teacher, I think nothing. Nothing. Yes,
Nothing.
because in this situation only say that the father's health has declined, but not say for example he have a cardiac problem or a um or another problem, for example, uh, of these how do you say derrame cerebral,
Okay, a brain stroke.
a
Brain
brain
stroke.
stroke,
Stroke. Yes,
stroke.
let me work here. Let me here. Brain. Well, usually in English is a stroke. A stroke or a brain stroke.
A stroke.
Yes, okay, yes.
Probably only he's um, I don't know. Probably he only have a problem that had solution.
Maybe, exactly, yes. Exactly, yes. The description is not clear about what sickness. it is, okay?
Yes, teacher.
Or what's a medical condition, okay?
Yes, teacher.
Okay,
In this dilemma, don't say that he is in a coma
exactly.
or in a vegetal state.
Ah, yes. No, that's terrible, Lisa. That's terrible.
Yes, teacher. Yes, that's terrible. And in this situation, uh, well, you have more options.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Okay.
in these situations, no. And I don't I I I don't do nothing.
Okay. I wouldn't do.
I
Wouldn't do
couldn't do.
do
I couldn't
anything.
do
Wouldn't do
anything.
anything. Yes. Very good. Okay. 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 Here I have another dilemma. Okay. Here it says, get rich. Okay. For example, let's say, please, Jime, if you read, your friend offers you.
Sorry. Your friends offer you an opportunity to make a great deal of money very quickly.
Good.
He has arranged to set up an offshore account for your profits.
Good.
He will not tell you exactly how he is making this money, but you get the impression it's not exactly legal. He
Okay.
only wants an investment of 100
$500.
$500, please. And promise you will have enough for your minimal investment that you will never need to work again.
Very good. Okay. So it sounded like a good proposal, no? You will invest $500, and in return, okay, you will get enough money not to work again. Okay. Maybe your friend is doing something illegal. Okay, you suspect that your friend is doing some illegal activities. Why? Because he didn't mention exactly, he didn't explain exactly what he's making with the money. Okay. What about Chris? What will you do, Chris? Do you give him the $500, deciding if you don't know how he's making it? You are in the clear. Do you demand to know the details before getting involved? Do you decide you want no part of this deal, as you trust your instinct that the offer is shady, que está como gris, oculta, okay, poco clara, and you might even get in legal trouble? What would you do, Chris?
Um, I demand him to know the details. Yes,
Before
teacher. Probably it will be legal. I don't know. Probably he wants to invert in
invest.
to do invest to do something. I don't know.
Okay, okay. But very good. Okay. What about you, Jimmy? What will you do, Jimmy?
Well, I think that the same. Now, demand to know the details before getting involved,
Okay.
because I think that is much better not to know what are you doing. You didn't have any idea of that. No, um, if you have the knowledge, no, obviously it's much better. No, it's much better to give how to say it, to try to give you a rescue, no, or if this is illegal, no, if you know what is happening, obviously you can know what you can do if something happens.
Okay, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's true or no? Because imagine the politicians, no, they
Yes,
know what they are doing, and obviously they know where.
yes.
I don't remember in Spanish, but it's like um evadir, no, evadir, yes,
Ah,
it's evadir, no,
yes.
evadir,
Evade.
evadir responsabilidad,
Yes.
evade the
Responsibility evasion.
responsibility.
Responsibility
Yes,
invasion.
responsibility evasion.
Okay, Jimmy. So Jimmy English, you will speak to your friend, okay? And your friend gives you the details, okay? An explanation is that yes, it's a business, okay? It's a business, but it's an illegal business. This business has to do with organ trafficking. So with your money, okay, I will help people to traffic organs from children, okay, to countries like, I don't know, maybe for example, Peru, Argentina, Brazil, okay, and the children are from Mexico. That's why you will get a lot of money in order not to work again in your life. What will you do, Kim? Will you accept?
No, I don't.
No, Kim. But if imagine, Kim, look, the conditions. You will never meet the children. You will only give the money and you will get the money back. That's all.
No, I don't think so. Well, by me, that's not so really good idea because uh, I have understand that you need to, how to say it, you be sure that aren't going to be frustrated, no, or something is following
Correct. Yes.
your investments, no. So
Yes.
I mean that it's really, how to say it, risk, no,
Risky.
it's risky,
Risky.
yes.
Yes. It's true. It's okay. What about Grace? What will you do, Grace?
It's a difficult situation because it is real illegal, and you say kids that you never know. But
Exactly.
imagine, uh, obviously, um, the people who did the work
Yes.
don't know your family,
Yes.
and one of these uh,
Oh,
children will be of your family.
come on, Grace. That's terrible. Okay, that's terrible, Grace. No, no, imagine, Grace. No, 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 no.
Yes, teacher, it will be. It's a possibility.
Exactly, it's a possibility because exactly. Yes, it's true because people don't know your family. The idea is that people don't know you. Okay,
Yes,
maybe they will know about your money, but they won't know
yes,
your name. They won't know your family. But maybe, come on,
yes.
Grace.
And imagine, probably, well, in this situation, we don't have children, no?
Yes,
But probably we have brothers, sisters, uh,
cousins, nephews,
cousins. Yes,
nephews.
or probably with your friends.
Yes.
Imagine you accept and later, I don't know, your best friend have a baby,
Oh, no,
and he arrived with you, and he tell
tells
you
you.
the situation. Obviously, you couldn't do nothing, and you will feel terrible about the situation because you know that it was your blame.
Yes. No, Gris, that's another dilemma, okay? That's no, Gris, imagine, no, imagine that you invest the money
Yes, teacher.
and you, for some reason, with that money, you damage, okay, you damage your friends, your neighbors, your family. So no, come on, Gris. Gris, you have a different way to see things, okay?
Yes, teacher. What about you?
No, Gris. Let me tell you, Jime and Gris, that a part of my life, some part of my life, I used to work for the federal police. When Calderon won the election, he designed a special police called AFI. Between Fox and Calderon, they set up this police force called AFI, Agencia Federal de Investigaciones. For some reason, in those years, I used to work for an English language company that provided classes to executives, Bimbo executives, Coca-Cola executives, Avon executives, big companies, okay? So in one of these companies, which was FEMSA is a company that works for Coca-Cola. I gave classes there, okay, to FEMSA. My students were executives, they were financial directors, human resource directors, and one of them was responsible for the finance area, the financial director. For some reason, he and I, we began to be friends, okay, and to have a close friendship. And one day I arrived at the class and he told me, Miguel, I maybe if Calderon wins the election, I will be part of his team to work. And he told me, Miguel, and I trust you. I trust in you. If I get this position, I want to invite you. Okay, his name was Nacho, Ignacio. So I said, yes, Nacho, yes, if there is a possibility to work with you, it will be nice. After some months, he continued taking the classes at FEMSA. After some months, Nacho disappeared. Nacho quitted his position. Why? Because Calderon won the election. So I suppose that, yes, according to Nacho's plan, his plan was to work with Calderon in an area. He didn't mention what. He didn't mention what the area or what position, nothing. He just, I mean, I will be part of Calderon's team to work in an area. So he disappeared. And after 6 months, I continued teaching them, I mean, at FEMSA. And after 6 months, he called me. Said, Miguel, he called me and he told me that he invited me to work, okay, for AFI as an administrator, okay, not as a police officer, not as a policeman, as an administrator. So I said yes. I went to his office, okay, and I had an interview with him, and I began working with him. My responsibility, him and Gris, was when he and his team, he worked as an operation officer, as a police officer. So when he and his team got tips, capture tips, or capture kidnappers, my activity was to go with my team. I also had a team of people to go to the place or to the building or to the house or to the apartment and to get data, to get the name, the age, okay, of the persons who were captured, the criminals, okay, who were captured, and to have the inventory of whatever they found in the house. Maybe they found money, maybe they found, I don't know, jewelry, maybe they found drugs, I don't know, whatever, I had to take the inventory. But one day he called me, okay, it was like, it was almost very early, it was like 6 in the morning. He called me and he told me, Miguel, I want you and your team to come to Talmanalco. Come to Talmanalco with your team because you have to get the inventory. I said, yes, Nacho. So for in those days, okay, I had a personal, I had a car from AFI, okay, and I had a driver, he was a policeman, and he took my team to Tamanalco. No, to Ameca Meca, sorry, Ameca Meca. So when I arrived at the position, okay, it was in the middle of nothing. I mean, there were just fields. Okay, maybe they were, I don't know, weather fields, the Campo de Trigo, maybe, I don't know. And Ignacio was there with his team. So I arrived with him. I said, "So Nacho, what's going on? Where is the house?" I suppose it was a house to get the inventory. And then Nacho told me, no, Miguel, this time is not a house. This time is a truck, it's a lorry, it's a trailer. So I said, okay, so take me to the trailer. Okay, so he took me to the trailer and he opened the trailer. The trailer had freezers, had air conditioners. And when he opened the trailer, I could see meat. Maybe it was a pork meat or beef meat, cow meat, hanging. I said, "Oh, well, actually, I think it's I believe that maybe drugs, especially cocaine or amphetamines, were into the meat." So I told Nacho, "Okay, well, so let's start to open the meat." But it was like a very huge pieces, like large pieces, okay. And he told me, oh, no, Miguel, no. It's not here. He took me inside. He told me, come inside, okay, follow me. And he went inside the truck, inside the lorry. And there was, at the end, there was another door. So I said, Nacho, this is strange, okay? Why does the lorry have two doors? One which is at the main entrance and another door in the middle. And he told me, Miguel, what I'm going to show you, you have to be very strong, okay? He told me, it's going to be shocking, but you and your team have to make the numbers, have to count, have to describe, and have to take pictures, okay? There, what do you think that I saw, Jime? What do you imagine, Jime, that I saw?
Corpse.
Exactly. Corpse, exactly. But something that was shocking to me, Jime agrees, it was that they were children and teenagers. In Mexico City and the state of Mexico, there is a big market of organs. So that day was really shocking for me. And I couldn't sleep for some days. And I told Nacho, at that time, I had been working with him for almost 2 years. So after a week, and after not being able to sleep, and after the impression of seeing children there hanging, and teenagers hanging, I told Nacho, I don't want to work with you anymore, okay? I want to quit. Why? Because this is really shocking for me, okay? Shocking that I don't want to live with this anymore. So they say that criminals who do that, they look for boys and girls who, number one, are children, and number two, that they are young, but they have Nacho told me that they have a list of specific characteristics for the person. For example, number one, young people, okay, teenagers or teens. Number two, slim people, slim boys and slim girls. And number three, you have to, they prefer people from, or people who are not from the city, people who are from other cities. So I don't know him English. That was my experience working for I didn't like the experience. Okay, it was really shocking for me. What's your opinion, Gris?
No, no, it's shocking because I don't know, probably you only have the inventory of things, drugs, money, how you say, names, and another data. But probably in in a house, or I don't know,
Yes.
you saw blood, but only
Ah,
this.
exactly.
But but see the bodies, um it's shocking. Probably if it will be from adults in a criminal sense, you think, ah, no, it is normal. It
Yes.
was a conflict. I don't know, but it's shocking. Probably for the age, for the
Yes.
situation.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, Gris. So that I couldn't sleep for many nights. Okay, so it was like no, it is like terrible. Okay, terrible that this happens in Mexico. Okay, but it's a real problem. Okay, it's a real problem, and criminals are anywhere, anywhere. You don't know, maybe your neighbor, I don't know, maybe you just met people on the street, but criminals are anywhere.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, 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 yes.
And you don't imagine that it will be real, or
Yes,
the number of cases.
yes, it's true.
Probably you say, oh no, it will be, how do you say secuestro?
It will be a kidnapping, secuestro. A kidnapping.
A kidnapping. I don't know, for legal, well, illegal problems, for money problems or something like that, no? But probably they could return the children.
Exactly. Yes.
But to show this is terrible.
Yes, yes, yes. So that's why he might say to quit working for AFI. The money was good, okay. The salary was good, but I said, no, Nacho, this is terrible, okay. No, I cannot live with this, Nacho. So I told him to thank you, and I don't, I wouldn't want to work with you anymore, okay. Okay, my friends. Okay, very good. Okay, let's continue with some words, okay, from our Toeic list, okay. Look at here, it says taxes, okay. Remember, lesson 24, taxes, obviously impuestos, okay. It says, please, Jimmy, please calculate.
Calculate. The young man tried to calculate his expenses every month.
Very good.
Noun, calculation.
Calculation. Good.
Calculation is no more difficult than high school math.
Very good.
Noun, calculator.
Good.
In the order to avoid making additions and subtractions errors, I suggest you use a calculator.
Very good. Okay. Obviously, calculate, calcular. Okay. Calculation, cálculo. Okay. Calculator, calculadora. Very good. It is file, verb file.
Verb file. And don't wait until the last minute to live your taxes.
To
File your taxes. Now file. I keep all my tax information in one file.
In one file, okay. Remember, file as a verb, archivar. Okay. File as a verb, archivar. File as a noun, archivo. Okay. Jimen, adjective, joint.
Joint. My husband and I filed a joint tax return.
Okay.
Adverb, jointly. Even though you are separated right now, you will save money if you and your wife file your taxes jointly.
Okay, good. Joint, okay. Adjective en conjunto, okay. En conjunto. Declaración de impuestos en conjunto. Jointly, jointly, juntamente, okay. Junto con, okay. Even though you are separated right now, you will save money if you and your wife file your taxes jointly, okay. Sí, declaran sus impuestos conjuntamente o juntos. Good. Chris, penalize.
Verb penalize. The government will penalize tax payers who try to evade paying their fair share of taxes.
Very good. Penalty.
Now penalty. For every dollar you owe in overdue taxes, a 10% penalty is impossible.
Very good.
Impossible.
Imposed. Okay.
Imposed.
Penal.
Penal. Tax evasion is a penal offense.
Offense, okay.
Offense.
Very good. Penalize, okay. Penalizar, okay. Penalty, okay. Multa, okay. Penalty, multa. Y penal, tax evasion is a penal offense, es una ofensa penal, okay. Good. Jime, prepare.
Prepare. Most people wait until the last minute to prepare their tax returns.
Very good.
Noun, prepare,
Preparation.
preparation.
Good.
Preparation. If you are organized, income tax preparation takes only a few hours.
Very good.
Adjective preparatory.
Very good.
Yes. The
Preparatory.
preparatory work for doing my taxes is more time consuming than filling out the forms.
The forms, okay. Prepare, obviously the verb prepare, preparar, okay. The noun preparation, similar preparación, okay. Preparatory adjective, okay, that is preliminar, okay. Preparatorio, preliminar. Good. Chris, verb, refund.
Verb refund. The government should refund your overpaid taxes within a few weeks of filing your tax return.
Very good. Noun, refund.
Noun refund. If you have overpaid your income taxes, you will get a refund at the end of the year.
Very good. Adjective, refundable.
Refundable. Sales tax that tourists pay in a foreign country may be refundable
Very good.
when they leave the country.
The country, look. The verb, refund, okay. Reembolsar. Reembolsar, okay. The noun, refund, reembolso, okay. And the adjective, refundable, reintegrable, okay. Reintegrable, okay. Se puede devolver. Very good. Okay. It says listening comprehension. Okay, let's look at the picture and listen to the sentences. Choose the sentence that best describes the picture. Okay. So let me share the listening. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, so it's there. Okay, so let's listen twice. Okay, look at this.
Comprehension. Part 1. Photo. Number 1. Look at the picture marked number 1. A.
She's filling out a form.
B.
She's preparing dinner.
C.
She's filing her nails.
D.
She's calculating the total.
Okay, I will repeat, okay?
4. Listening comprehension. Part 1. Photo. Number 1. Look at the picture marked number 1. A.
She's filling out a form.
B.
She's preparing dinner.
C.
She's filing her nails.
D.
She's calculating the total.
Okay, what about Jime? What's your opinion,
Part
Jime?
2. Question
sorry.
response. Number 2.
Sorry, what's your opinion, Jime? A, B, C, or D, Jime?
It's letter D.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think this is a calculator, no?
And the sentence what she was calculating, I don't know, she was calculating something, okay?
Yes.
But yes, and the others were very crazy descriptions, okay? Okay, look at part 2, question response. It says, listen to the question and the two responses. Choose the response that best answers the question, okay? So let's play it, okay?
Part 2. Question response. Number 2.
How much do I owe?
A. About $125. B. I own 2 cars. C. I paid what I owed.
Number 3.
When do I have to file my income taxes?
A. It's only about a mile from here. B. We received an incoming fax. C. The deadline is April 15th.
Okay, I will repeat, okay?
How much do I owe?
Sorry.
D.
She's calculating the total.
Part 2, question response. Number 2.
How much do I owe?
A. About $125. B. I own 2 cars. C. I paid what I owed.
Number 3.
When do I have to file my income taxes?
A. It's only about a mile from here. B. We received an incoming fax. C. The deadline is April 15th.
Grace, what about number 2, Grace? What's your opinion, Grace? A, B, or C, Grace?
I think it's letter A.
Exactly. Why, Grace? Why? That's correct. Why?
The question is about how much,
Very good. Okay.
and the response is 100, something like that.
Very good. Exactly. It says, how much do I owe? Look, the question, which is a very common question. Okay, look, is this. How much do I owe? Okay, how much do I owe? ¿Qué dice ahí? ¿Cuánto debo? Okay, how much do I owe? Okay. Jime, what about number 3, Jime? A, B, or C, Jime?
It's letter C, no? Because she's asking about a date.
Exactly. And the boy answered that the deadline, no? Okay. The question was, when do I have to, look at this. When do I have to file my income taxes? Okay. Cuando tengo que enviar, okay, o que declarar, okay, mis impuestos de ingreso. Very good, okay. Okay, look at part 3, conversation. It says, listen to the dialogue, then read this question and choose the best answer. Okay, I will read the first. It says, who usually prepares the man's taxes? The man, his wife, the man and his wife together, an accountant. Okay, Chris, when did the man file?
File his taxes last year?
Good.
Letter A, a month before the deadline. Letter B, 2 months before the deadline. Letter C, 1 month after the deadline. Letter D, 2 months after the deadline.
Good. Jime, number 6, what is the penalty?
What is the penalty for missing the deadline? A, 1%. B, 2%. C, 9%. D, 10%.
Okay, very good. So let's listen, okay?
Part 3, short conversation. Numbers 4 through 6 relate to the following conversation.
I'm no good with numbers, so my spouse usually files our taxes. She does all the calculations and fills out the forms.
You're lucky then. I usually have to pay an accountant to prepare my taxes, and even then I sometimes miss the deadline.
I did that once. Last year was the one time I filed our taxes, but I did it 2 months after the deadline and had to pay a huge penalty.
Yes, the penalty is 10% of what you owe, isn't it? I guess that's why your spouse is the one who usually files your taxes.
I repeat, okay?
Part 3, short conversation. Numbers 4 through 6 relate to the following conversation.
I'm no good with numbers, so my spouse usually files our taxes. She does all the calculations and fills out the forms.
You're lucky then. I usually have to pay an accountant to prepare my taxes, and even then I sometimes miss the deadline.
I did that once. Last year was the one time I filed our taxes, but I did it 2 months after the deadline and had to pay a huge penalty.
Yes, the penalty is 10% of what you owe, isn't it? I guess that's why your spouse is the one who usually files your taxes.
Okay, what about Jime? Who usually prepares the man's taxes, Jime?
His wife?
Exactly, that is correct, exactly. His wife, okay? Okay. Chris, what about number 5, Chris? When did the man file his taxes last year?
2 months after the deadline.
Exactly, 2 months after the deadline. Good. Jime, what is the penalty for missing the deadline?
10%.
Exactly. Exactly. 10% is a lot of money, okay? Okay. Okay, part 4, Togi says, listen to the talk, then read this question and choose the best answer. I read number 7. Who is the speaker? A tax preparer, a government tax agent, a tax filer, an employer. Chris, when can the refund?
When can the refund check the expected?
Very good.
Letter A in 18 weeks.
Good.
Letter B before 6 weeks. Letter C in 4 weeks. Letter D in 10 weeks until latest.
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 Latest. Good. Jime, what does the speaker?
What does the speaker often to do?
Okay.
A. Calculate the amount to withhold from the paycheck. B. Make an arrangement with the employee.
Good.
C. Show the listener a fee schedule.
Good.
D. Send in the tax payment.
Very good. Okay, so let's listen, okay?
Part 4. Talk. Questions 7 through 9 relate to the following recording.
You will be getting a refund check of $460, and you can expect to receive it in 8 to 10 weeks. While I know that it's nice to get a refund check, I always tell my clients that it's better for your finances to avoid overpaying taxes in the first place. If you'd like, I can do some calculations which will show exactly how much you should ask your employer to withhold from your check in the future. And I'd only charge a small fee for this service.
Okay, I repeat.
Part 4. Talk. Questions 7 through 9 relate to the following recording.
You will be getting a refund check of $460, and you can expect to receive it in 8 to 10 weeks. While I know that it's nice to get a refund check, I always tell my clients that it's better for your finances to avoid overpaying taxes in the first place. If you'd like, I can do some calculations which will show exactly how much you should ask your employer to withhold from your check in the future. And I'd only charge a small fee for this service.
Okay, Chris, who is the speaker, Chris?
I think a tax preparator.
A tax preparer, yes. Tax
Yes.
preparer. Why not tax filer? Tax filer is the person who works, for example, in Mexico is called SAT. Is the employee who works at SAT, okay, tax filer. So a tax preparer usually don't work, okay, at the tax office, okay? And he help other people, okay, prepare their taxes, okay? Jime, when can the refund check be expected?
In 18 weeks.
Almost, Jime, almost. He said, you can expect your check refund from 8 to 10 weeks.
8 to 10. Yes, 10 weeks.
So it's this one, ¿no? In 10 weeks at the latest.
10 weeks.
En 10 semanas por muy tarde. Very good. Chris, what does the speaker offer to do?
calculate the amount to withhold from the paycheck.
Exactly. Calcular la cantidad, dice, a retener del cheque. Very good. Okay. Good. Okay. Okay. So let's continue. Okay. Here it says, okay, reading. Okay. It says, choose the word that will complete the sentence. For example, I do the first. According to we owe a lot of money in taxes this year. Okay. Super easy. According to my calculations, okay, we owe a lot of money in taxes this year. Okay. Okay, but you're going to please from number 11 to number 15. Once again, don't copy all, just write the number and write the correct answer.
Finish.
Good. Jime, please, number 11. Those?
Files. Those files on my desk contain all the information we'll need to preparing our taxes.
Perfect. Those files. Good. Grace, it is usually advantageous.
It is usually advantageous for is
Spouses.
spouses to file their income taxes jointly.
Jointly.
Jointly?
Jointly,
Jointly.
conjuntamente. Yes, good. Ah, look, spouses, esposos, okay? Esposos, good. Good. Jimen, we didn't know.
We didn't know we had to clean the interest from our saving account and we are penalized for the error.
Very good. And we're penalized for the error. Very good. Gris, then,
The preparation of the forms took much less time than we expected.
very good. Preparation, good. Jimen, I didn't overpay.
I didn't overpay my taxes this year, so I didn't get a refund.
Very good. Didn't get a refund. Yes. Excellent, my ladies. Very good. Perfect. Very good. Okay. So, Jime, tell me, Jime, do you have any plans with the weekend, Jime? Are you planning to do something special this weekend?
Well, no. I only am going to give classes and probably the only special thing that I'm going to do is take Cami to what? To get a bath.
Okay.
Because my mom decided to paint the other room, no, with color blue, like
Okay.
my room, no, like here in my studio.
Okay.
And Cami decided to go to gossip. What is happening?
Okay.
So she getting know her face color blue, and she is white. So imagine who is.
So you have a dog turning blue, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, okay. Go, okay. But what about Greece? Do you have any plans, Greece, for the weekend?
Well, I have to finish up my project
Exactly, exactly.
and doing more content to my well, it's another project, but I sorry, but um we are publishing on Facebook every day.
Ah, yes?
Yes.
What is your project about, Greece?
We are talking about Mexican culture.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes,
In Spanish or in English?
in Spanish, teacher. My partners don't speak English.
Okay. Okay. And Greece, what is the name of the Facebook channel?
Es Desmenuzando México.
Let me find. Okay, Desmenuzando México. Let me find it. Desmenuzando México. The icon is this one. Look, let me share. Is this the icon? Look, this one.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Okay. Let me write it. Okay. Let me open. Okay. Okay. Oh, delicious, Lisa.
Yes, teacher.
So you are posting information here.
Yes,
Ah, okay.
and in our YouTube channel. This was the the last work that I did with my computer.
This one, mitos más contados
Yes,
en
teacher.
México. Yes.
Yes,
Ah, okay, okay. Desmenuzando México. Ah, okay. So you also have a channel.
yes, teacher.
Ah,
We have 3 videos.
3 videos. Okay. Let me
Yes,
subscribe. Okay.
teacher.
Ah, exactly. Yes. Yes, man. Mitos más contados, manconada con Desmenuzando México. Comienza la aventura de nuevo. Ah, okay, Gris. It is interesting, huh? So the project is like to sponsor, para promover, to sponsor Mexican culture, Mexican food, Mexican traditions.
Yes, teacher.
Interesting, interesting.
And well, we are planning to explain another things like the urban art and all things that we are found in Mexico.
Okay, okay. Like,
And to see that, to enjoy Mexico, you didn't be in Mexico City.
okay. So you are going to show handcrafts, artesanías.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, okay. It's a really interesting project, Liz, huh?
Yes, teacher.
Mm. Maybe, Liz, in the future you can think, Liz, on a product to sell.
Yes, teacher. Probably.
I don't know.
Actually, we are making a project. It's
Okay,
another project.
good.
Uh, with something related with the culture.
Very good. Okay. And where are you going to publish that project? Also on Facebook, on YouTube? No.
No, it is only a prototype.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
teacher.
Okay. Very good. That's a good idea. Very good. Maybe, Gracie, in the future, Gracie, if you develop a product, maybe you can say it. For example, I learned this information about a gear who made a special piñata. Look at this. This gear founded a company called Piñata to Go. Look, it's this one. Let me. It's this one. Okay, look. The company name for this gear, look, it is Piñata to Go. The idea of this special piñata is that you can. This is a piñata that is foldable. Okay, right here it looks like a normal piñata, but it fits into a small box. So the person buys the piñata, unfolds, desdobla, unfolds the piñata, and then you have a piñata like this. Right now, this girl, I don't remember her name, but this girl sells his piñata not only in Mexico, okay, but also in, look, he's here. Here's the explanation, okay. It's distributed in Spanish, abre, presiona las puntas, okay. She sells these products, okay, this piñata not only in Mexico, but also in Europe, especially in the market of, for example, China, okay, India. So maybe Greece, you can have an idea, okay, for a product.
Yes, teacher. And actually, well, uh, we are um we are some people. We have 2 or 3 views from Peru, Colombia,
Great,
and the USA.
very good. Little by little, no? Little by little.
Yes, little by little, teacher. Yes.
Very good, Greece, very good. Jimmy, thank you very much for being here today. See you next week. Thank you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate and tell me, okay?
Yes, teacher. Thank you.
Thank
Very good.
you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.